sick of this. Get those Just Eat fools on the line for me. We're gonna do this doggy style.
Did somebody say just eat?
Me, get delivery like a G. See, hungry dogs gotta eat. I get mines every day, every week. Chicken wings to the crib, I'm sitting in. Burger in the low. Hope they put the pickle in. Wonton on a catamaran. Oodles and noodles, thank you, my man. Tacos to the chateau. Please, did somebody say
Just eat.
private jetting in the night sky? My man hand glide by with my fried rice. Right? What could you not love? Bought a slice on the side of the hot tub. What you gon' do, boo? Chocolate fondue right on cue. Even dipping in the sea. I see food, seafood sees me. Justeat.
I wonder how much it will cost for Snoop to do a little 1 minute intro like that for us.
Oh, mate, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? But we keep playing that, and lucky I had a
Even
nice cinnamon
dip it
donut
in
here,
the
because I always get
soles.
hungry, mate, when I hear that.
Well, yeah, thanks to Jim for bringing the donut.
Bravo, Jimmy. Donuts and cafe tonight. We're not having Greek coffee, so I don't know how I'm going to
No,
go,
we've
mate. I'm
got
having
a-
some long blacks
We've
here.
got a Dinkum Dye
Dinkum Aussie coffee
Aussie
from
coffee.
Billy's.
Yeah, long black.
But yeah, Valandi, what's going on, mate? All right?
Mate, what an absolute week in sport.
Mate, incredible week. And as we know, a lot of things are going to start kicking off again in the coming couple of weeks. NBA, supercars are back this week, mate. The Formula One again this weekend. So it's all happening. AFL, EPL. And you know what, mate? What everyone was waiting for was the LeBron v. Jordan thesis, mate. Not much of a thesis because I fell asleep. I was going to finalise it tonight, but I definitely finished it, mate. But it's not a thesis; it's more like a.
Should we leave that till next week so we can just catch up on all other stuff?
All right, if you want to, mate. I've got most of it, but what I will say, Valandi, is that it's very difficult when you look at all the facets of it, man. As I said, stats, accolades are not always the most important, because if that was the case, Bill Russell would be number one, winning 11 titles in 13 years. So we're going to look at everything.
Like we did say, this is a LeBron versus...
Correct. But they are the two best players ever to play. But I'm
Yeah.
saying to you, if it was just on stats, Bill Russell winning 11 championships would be number one, wouldn't he?
Nanikalau Bill Russell.
Or Billy, or Levendis, or Vasilis. No, I think his great auntie was Greek at some point there, but anyway, that's another story for another day. But let's get into AFL, mate, because we are flying high. That is Kefi Live and Snoop Sports. We are flying high because we are smashing the Fan Footy SA, folks, aren't we, mate?
We are... Well, what a week in tips we've had.
Mate, we destroyed them there. I went outside the norm. Valandi was nearly killing me with the Geelong-Brisbane game. We went Geelong. And also the Collingwood versus Hawthorn. I was very surprised that actually went Hawthorn, Valandi. I thought they would have gone Collingwood, especially with a Collingwood supporter on their panel.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I spoke to Petros last night. I gave him a lot of shit. I dug it in him going, there, what's going on? 3-0 down this week. And he just simply said, I'm going to smash, what's his name? Many. No.
Many.
What's the other guy's name? I forgot.
Zenny.
I'm gonna smash Zenyo. Well, you know what? End of the day, it's a team collective.
That's right, mate.
Look, to be honest, I did say to Jonathan, I was worried about this week's tips when he said Geelong and Brisbane, and I said, listen, JG, we've got to really sit down and think about this. I reckon Brisbane is going to annihilate them. And then you turned around and said, nah, it's in Sydney. There's no way they're going to win.
Geelong play the SCGs very well, mate.
Brisbane definitely won't win this. The first quarter, I decided to go with you. I went with your tips. The first quarter, yeah.
You thought this guy...
I thought, you know what? Fase Jamiso.
Jamieson.
Right. But come half time, I got a message from you going, see, I told you there. And then the next night, see, I told you there, 2-0. And, we had a really good weekend.
And we also went Port v. the Jub.
We did. Look, I had nothing against that one. I thought Port had a loss last week, so they were going to bounce back, and they were going to bounce back big. So
Big scalp, mate. Big scalp.
But the one thing I did different in my personal tips is I picked Carlton.
So you got 6 as well then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 6. 6 out of 9. I've actually climbed the table at my work, tipping now in the top 10 today. I'm 8th now, only 2 behind the leader.
I'm second in my tipping.
So you're lucky, mate. 2
Do you know
behind
who's
the leader.
first?
Who?
Sully.
Is he?
Because I'm doing his national realty competition.
Okay.
And I think there's about 50 people.
Well, he's
in
got
it.
6 extra votes because he's gone for, or 5, I should say, because Port. He's gone Port 5 times out of 6. So, but now look, let's start with the Port game, mate, because they. I thought they were going to lose it at the stage, but in the last quarter they stood up. They just demolished them in the 50 metre count, mate. They had the frontage, the pressure at the front there, and they were able to keep the ball in and score 4 goals to 1. GWS kicked one late, so it was 4-2 in the last quarter, but the game was over. Charlie Dixon stepped up in the third quarter, even though he doesn't score many goals sometimes in games, but he does the 1%ers that bring the team and lift the team up. Something that's lacking in Taylor Walker at the moment at the Crows. Even though you don't hit the scoreboard, you must annihilate. And he did that in one of those games, which we did mention. Tex had a good game that third quarter a couple of weeks ago when he was able to score and set up a couple of goals. So
Walker is just
the big guys, not always on the score sheet, but do play a big role in the structure of the team. And I think, look, Port are playing a great style. We're kicking it long. We're going long. We're keeping it in our 50. And if we can continue that pattern, we will definitely be top 4. And look, it is still early. There's only 17 games this season, 11 to go in the minor league season. And we've only conceded 277 points, Valandi, in 6 games. We are annihilating in the defensive department. So if we can continue that and suffocate the opposition, we will be there in September. Actually, is it September? Still October this year. We'll take settle, mate. But we'll definitely be there in September. And we've shrunk ours down to 9-1. So if you've still got a bit of money laying around after coronavirus, put $100 on Port to win the premiership, Valandi, at 9-1, mate. So some good odds there at the moment. The Crows, it just goes from bad to worse. Ended up losing, mate, and also they lost their captain today, mate. 6 weeks he is out, broken hand, fracture, I should say, in the hand. So he's gone for 6 weeks. I think they're going to put the queue in the rack and go for that first draft because they are 2 games behind, sitting rock bottom. They are going to get the wooden spoon this year, mate. No doubt about it.
No, I don't see any other way now.
Play the youngsters, mate, and build, I think, and get a couple of good draft picks. What do you reckon?
No, I absolutely agree.
But that is definitely a big loss for them, losing their captain. So obviously Tex Walker will come back in next week for sure. What else? What you loved was the Carlton game, didn't you? We'll talk about the Carlton game because your man Eddie, they smashed them at 52 points. They killed them.
They were annihilating. I'm telling you, Eddie Betts is back in his top form.
6 goals to zip in the last quarter for Carlton and smashing the Bulldogs. And what did Betts get? 4 goals, wasn't it?
4 goals last night. Mate, that guy is just... He's played, 3 games now? 4 games?
What has he played, mate, in a Leptor? Probably around that level. But he had a ripper game, 4 goals. He had 14 possessions, 6 contested. He did have 3 turnovers, but he had 10 score involvements, mate. 10 score involvements, incredible.
That guy
incredible
is he's just unbelievable.
And he was on for literally 90% of the game, mate. He was on the field for. So that's pretty good at that age to be playing 90% of the game. All right, it is short in quarters, but he's loving life again, mate. He has freed himself from the Crows, and he's enjoying his football again, which is great to see because he is a great player. But how's that? The Richmond-Sydney game, what a low-scoring game there, 34-26. It was like the AFLW, mate, all over again.
What exactly happened there?
It was nearly the lowest-scoring AFL game ever until that last goal.
Do you know, I was reading an article saying that the faith in AFL was restored because of Carlton this weekend. Because I think Carlton were the first team.
The only team to get over 100 points.
Over 100, yeah.
Carlton smashing, as we said, the Bulldogs. But you know who else is actually a lying giant, Valandi? The Essendon Football Club, mate. They are sitting one game behind top, but with a game in hand. So if that's essentially win that game in hand against Melbourne, they will be equal top with Port on 20 points. So they are the sleeping giant at the moment, and they get their big man back. I reckon they will definitely be top 4, I reckon, Valandi, the way they are going this year.
It's an interesting top 8, isn't it? We've got Port Adelaide on 20 points, followed by Geelong, Brisbane, Essendon on 16, Collingwood, Richmond on 14, St Kilda and Carlton on
17
12,
12, mate.
And Carlton are point 3?
0.5.
0.5 of a percentage off of Gold Coast
Their last
Suns.
couple of goals, mate. But Gold Coast has that. It is pretty tight, but they were sitting second a couple of weeks ago. So that's how tight the season is.
Wow, you're right. 1, 2, 3,
7 teams on 12, mate.
7 teams on 12.
But like I said, beware. Geelong is getting in some great form, mate. They are playing some good
How did
football.
Fremantle get up there? What did I miss?
Fremantle, what do you mean? They're on 8 points. They won a couple of games there.
Did they win this weekend?
Yeah, they won back-to-back games, mate.
Oh, shit, they did.
They beat the Saints in the
That's
dying
right.
stages,
Yeah,
mate.
that's right, because we picked the Saints.
Yeah, they went dying stages. Then last week they beat the Crows, if you remember that.
Yeah, I know that. Okay.
But good thing for the LA teams is that the football will be coming at Adelaide Oval in the next couple of weeks. So the Crows will play.
So how many rounds is that for?
Well, so far, LA will play 2. Port will play 1. So Port plays Carlton next week, big game. Carlton next week at the Gabba. And the Crows will play St Kilda here next Monday. They're playing here at Adelaide Oval against St Kilda. And then round 8 fixtures came out today, and Port will play St Kilda here, Adelaide Oval, on next Saturday night.
Right.
And then the Crows will play here Sunday.
Okay.
So a couple of games, and then we'll see what happens there. Because, as you know, the borders are supposed to open with Sydney on the 20th. Well, that may not happen now, so that's thrown another sort of spanner in the fixture works. So we'll see what happens there. Let's move on to the next one, Valandi, the Premier League. We know the title has been sewn up, but there's still lots to play for. Obviously, European places and also the relegation battle. Norwich was relegated, mate. I told you they are gone back to the Championship. But who may come up from the Championship, mate, is Leeds. Leeds are there looking the goods.
Gosh.
I can't wait, man.
When was the last time they were in the top league?
Oh, that would have been, how many years ago now, thought I'd hear?
Well over 10?
Yeah, I reckon at least 15 years, mate. I
Well,
would have
back
a
when
look.
Harry Kill.
Kill Viduka and all that. I reckon 2004 would have been their last one there. 2004, 2005, I think.
That's going to be huge.
Massive. And they've got a great supporter base, and I'm actually looking forward to those games. So let's hope they can hold on. They need one more point in the last 3 games to clinch it. But Norwich is going back with those guys.
Very mixed results this weekend from the EPL.
Mate, there is a lot of mixed results. We'll go to, because we had a couple of midweek games. Well, let's go to the Wednesday game, because obviously we had last Monday. But Arsenal, Leicester 1-0. Watford 2-1. Chelsea beating Palace 3-2. Liverpool beating Brighton 3-1. Burnley winning. Sheffield United winning. And Man City smashing Newcastle 5-0. But then Man United, I reckon one of the most informed teams since February, winning 3-0 against Aston Villa. Southampton 1-0 with Everton. Spurs have dropped off, mate, 0-0. Liverpool on the weekend, man. Liverpool-Burnley 1-0. Now, I'm going to go to a stat quickly and come back to the scores, but we had something like 28 shots to 6, mate, and their goalkeeper, Nick Pope, who is leading the Golden Glove at the moment, he made 8 saves against Liverpool, and they were ripper saves at that. Only Paulo Gazzaniga has more 12 in a single Premier League game at Anfield this season, and the first time Liverpool has dropped points at Anfield, Valandi, this season. They were going for a perfect season at home and unfortunately dropping points. So their their streak has gone, unfortunately. So we're still going for that 100-point barrier. Let's hope we can get there. Going back to the games now, as I said, Watford 2-1 Newcastle, West Ham smashing Norwich 4-0, Aston Villa 2-0, Wolves 3-0 against Everton, Man City another 5-0, mate, drubbing at Brighton. Now this was a big one. Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0, man. In the battle for Champions League, Sheffield United smashing Chelsea 3-0. And this morning, Bournemouth smashing Leicester 4-1, mate, to dent their aspirations. Slightly dent, I should say, because they're still in the top 4. But smashing Leicester 4-1, mate. Dominic Solanke, I don't know, you remember he used to play for Liverpool, scoring his first 2 goals for the club, mate. A crucial time because Bournemouth are in the relegation battle. So, big 3 points. And Spurs 2, Arsenal 1. Spurs finally getting a win after a bit of time, but Arsenal, mate, it's getting tight, man. I don't think, unless, like I said, they win the FA Cup, I don't see them making Europe at the moment. As we go to the table, as you know, Liverpool top by 21 points, Man City, but this is where it gets interesting. Chelsea 3rd, Leicester 4th, Man United 5th, Wolves 6th, Sheffield 7th. Now, 6 points separate those teams. So Sheffield was a big win, and Leicester dropping points is big, because if Man United win tomorrow morning against Southampton, they go into 3rd, mate. Man United go into 3rd after we were sitting here pre-COVID saying they would probably miss out on Europe altogether. They have come back with a storm.
They've had a few strong games.
Mate, they are firing up. VR is helping them as well. But they are firing on all cylinders, man. VR did not help Liverpool on the weekend, mate. For everyone out there that thought VR will help us this year, it has not. But going down to the relegation battle, mate, as I said, Norwich is gone, but Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham, Brighton, 6 points between them, 3 games to go. I'm saying here, you know what? I think Bournemouth, with that win against Leicester, may get out of the relegation zone this week, mate. So let's see what happens there. But Norwich is down. I'm going to say Villa down. And I'm going to say Watford down. Bournemouth to stay up, mate. Bournemouth to stay up, Watford to go down. We'll see what happens in those games, mate. But the Golden Boot, as I said, it looked pretty tight, but Jamie Vardy just keeps scoring, mate. He keeps scoring. He's on 23 now, with Aubameyang on 20, Danny Ings 19, and Salah on 19. So Vardy is pushing away, mate. He is 3 clear with 3 games to go. He more than likely now takes that title, unfortunately, mate, for Salah and Aubameyang. I think Jamie Vardy will take the Golden Boots, man. So, but how's this? Kevin De Bruyne is on 18 assists, man. 18 assists this year. He's nearly going to hit the 20, man. That is an incredible output by
that's
Kevin
huge.
De Bruyne.
That's huge.
I don't know if you saw earlier, but Man City, mate, you know how they were going to get fined for 2 years from Europe?
Well...
it has been overturned, mate. They are getting nothing.
George Malamas just said, what a BS decision.
Is that Trella?
Yeah, Trella. Man City to get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
The Arab money, as always, talks.
$10 million there. Fine. That is like our $3.20. More than likely. $10 million, mate. Fine.
That's
only.
absolute crap.
That is absolute nothing.
Crap. Hey, just check your phone for a second.
Let me just have a look, mate. What's happened here? That's brilliant, mate. Folks.
That's our little friend Eleni has sent us that. So she promised she's going to do one for you. I'm going to put it up in my
Look at that, mate.
In my screen there. Hopefully, there we go. Hopefully everyone can see that. There we go.
That looks like the Byzantinian nose, man, doesn't it?
It's pretty good. She's awesome.
It's like a Byzantinian
I'm going to post that up on our Facebook later on. But Eleni, thank you so much. You definitely have a lot of talent, and Snoop loves it.
Definitely, man. It is beautiful. She has got the beard down packed, and the capello. You know when I wear the Lakers one that's up?
Yeah.
That's
exactly
that
right.
pack, man. So
good on her.
Good. Well done. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Now, we must there. Let me just have some cafe, because there's no Greek coffee, and this is sort of not as strong, unfortunately. But
there's no Greek coffee, or you just didn't want to...
I said we didn't make it because the lads brought us some cafe, so we missed out on the Greek coffee tonight. But, Valandi, let's go to Formula 1, because I know you love it, and there's lots to talk about in Formula 1, mate. What happened? What happened to Ferrari on the first lap there? What are they doing, mate? The big mouths of the week, aren't they?
You know what? My weekend was destroyed with Ricciardo.
I know, man. It's just not happening, is it?
It was just bad luck. But, yeah. Ferrari are just, Kalia.
Leclerc said he was just getting too excited, mate, like us on a Saturday
Who ended
night
up winning
back in
that
the day.
race?
Hamilton there. Hamilton,
so Hamilton-
Bottas second.
Right.
Verstappen third. Albon fourth. And Chuck Norris's cousin Lando was in fifth, mate. So he's getting some points this year, man. He is... I think he's sitting third in the race, Valandi. I'll go to the season in a moment. But, Danny Ricciardo finishing 8th, and Ferrari not finishing in the first lap. Vettel gone, and Leclerc only made another 3 laps after, and he was out. So, incredible, mate. And as we said, I think Hamilton will, as I said at the start of the season, will make his 7th and match Schumacher's record this year, mate. He's just too good, man. He is just too good. And he did a big salute at the end, so he is enjoying life, mate.
He's still a male.
He may be a Maori, but he is, he is going to win it, man. You can't deny. It's like saying who. So no, how are we going to say who's better, Schumacher or Hamilton? See what I mean? You're in. Do you know what I mean? You're in this dilemma, mate. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, but
it's hard to pinpoint, mate. Yeah, actually, Lando Norris, he's third. So it's Bottas, Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc, top 4 at the moment in the driver's standings. So only a couple of races in, mate. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. V8s are back this week, mate. I know you're looking forward to that. In Sydney, aren't they? In the truck assist, what do they call it? Truck
just
assist,
another couple of
Sydney
wins
Super
for
Sprint.
McLaughlin.
Macca?
Yeah.
Or do you reckon, what's his name? Jizzy.
Nah, I reckon jizzed is all jizzed out.
You reckon he's jizzed out after coronavirus lockdown there?
He jizzed so much during the E-Series that I just think he's all jizzed out now.
Because he was doing well in the E-Series, wasn't he?
He didn't he win the E-Series?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He was jizzing himself away. But, look, that's awesome. I can't wait to see that again, and we'll talk more about that next week. But well, the most important part of this week, Valandi, is that NBA is coming back in about 17 days, and there are a lot of people. I don't know if you saw the LeBron thing. You know how they were going to put some names on their backs, like messages, Black Lives Matter, or whatever they want to put on it. LeBron has said no, he's not going to do that, and Anthony Davis as well from the Lakers. So two big star players are not doing that there.
Why though? Why would they do it?
Exactly. They don't feel that is they don't need to do that. They have shown in other places, sources, whatever they want.
Like, whose idea
how they
was
do
that?
it. The leagues, obviously. The
Like,
leagues'
you know,
idea.
whatever, like, you know, that's the cause and all that. But did you hear about the F1 on the weekend? That the Formula One made everyone, kneel and wear these "We're Not Racist" T-shirts or "Stop Racism" T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yet the TV broadcaster cut it off air before they crossed over to the kneeling and the salute part.
Did he?
Yeah. So it's just, I just think that everyone has expressed it, everyone supports it.
Of course.
Let's
yeah,
move on now.
That's right.
And focus on what the sport's about. And I think, bravo to LeBron and to Anthony Davis for turning around and saying, all right, enough is enough. Let's get on with the game.
That's you got to commend these people, man, that go outside the norm. So, and that's furthermore to when I discuss in more detail about LeBron and Jordan. LeBron is very selfless in those concepts, mate. So. We'll talk more about that later on, but yeah, from first thoughts, mate, I've been looking, and it's hard to separate them as players because they obviously played in two different eras, and the game was a little bit different in that space. But if you're looking stats, well, we know that Jordan's got more rings. All right, MVPs pretty much on par, 5 and 4 season MVPs that is. But finals MVPs, he's won 6 because he's won 6 rings. LeBron's won 3 because he's won 3 rings. So when they win a ring, they win the finals MVP because they are the best player, obviously. So the stats are one thing, but also you got to look at their teams they were in, the teams before they got there, the teams during when they were there, and don't forget LeBron. They beat the Golden State Warriors, which was one of the greatest teams ever to play. That dynasty they had in the late 2000s. So, look, there's a lot to talk about, man. So, yeah, I'll do a little bit more in-depth analysis and bring that to you guys next week because it's going to take a bit of time. And I'm happy for you to come back and forth with me, mate, during that spiel, mate, as well.
Well, I'm going to do my own research.
You do your own research,
and I'm
mate.
we're going to open up for debate.
All right.
How's that?
Because my thing is that LeBron is a greater all-round player when we talk true shooting. We talk value over replacement, which means that how you replace someone in that team. And he brings his teammates up. Jordan was fucking champion, right? An individual player.
Take it easy on the swearing.
Oh, no, I forgot we're not on Toilet Trash Project. He is a champion number 1 player. Like, he is individually great. Okay, but what I see the difference of LeBron is a greater all-round player. When you look at assists, finding teammates, rebounding. Jordan was a great defender, won Defensive Player of the Year once, great steals, all that sort of stuff. So when you got to look at all these different factors, and they're pretty tight in all these areas. But LeBron brings the team up, if you know what I mean. He instills that confidence and belief in other teammates to bring their game level up. All right, and you look at how many players LeBron has played with that have been MVPs, or not MVPs, like star players, etc., versus LeBron, Jordan. So we'll go into that as well. But I still think LeBron is a greater all-round player than Jordan, mate. But there's no denying Jordan's championships, MVPs, finals MVPs, defense, just things that he could do that other players haven't been able to do, mate. So, yeah, definitely a big thing to look at. And we will definitely go through a debate, if you're happy with that, mate.
All right, done.
You happy with that? Big
Done.
debate? What else? Just a few other stats that I found, which I don't know if you saw, mate, but another, you can go to Ronaldo v Messi, that's another one you can talk about, but this year in the Serie A, mate, Ronaldo started pretty slow. So after 14 games, man, he had 6 goals, and the leading goal scorer, Ciro Immobile, was on 17 goals after 14 games. 28 matches now, so 14 games on, Valandi. Ronaldo is on 28 goals. 14 games on from 6, he's on 28. So he scored 22 goals in 14 games. And Immobile is on 29. So he's 1 goal behind now after being considerably behind early on. He is a true champion, mate. And hopefully for himself, he can win another game. And this is where these players are defined in their greatness, Valandi, is how they look after themselves and how they can continue to excel at this sort of age, 35, 36 years of age. They are beasts, mate. If you look at how fit they are and their consistency levels is incredible. It's an attribute that you're born with, mate. You have that hunger, that will, that desire that LeBron still has and will continue to have. And you know what? LeBron will play another 4 years, mate. He'll play another 4 seasons to 39. I reckon he can go to over 40. The way he is playing, he'll go to 40. Same Ronaldo, I reckon he can play to 42, 43, mate.
Oh,
Incredible players.
Ronaldo's just a monster.
Imagine that, 42. Who was the oldest? What was that soccer player there, the African guy? What was his name? He was 42 at the World Cup. I'll bring that next week. I can't remember his name now, but he was 42 and still ripping it up. So
Unbak Tuk Tuk.
Tuk Tuk, yes it was. Let's go to the Greek League, Valandi. What's happening there, mate? It's a few good results over the weekend. AEK 3, Panathinaikos 1, and PAOK beating Olympiakos to keep 3 points clear of us at the moment. Aris beating Ofi Crete 1-0. Big games, 2 big games to come up. AEK's got PAOK. That is the game that could potentially be the gateway to the Champions League qualifiers. So whoever wins that obviously gets through to the Champions League. So let's see what happens there. In the relegation, our family down at Asteras Tripolis there, mate, they're sitting on top of the relegation battle. But Xanthi and Panionios sitting in the relegation battle at the moment because Panatolikos had a couple of good wins, especially against Panionios on the weekend, 2-0. So they've been able to get themselves out of the relegation battle. Guess what's back? The A-League is back this weekend, mate. Did you know that?
Guess
the A-League is back.
Back again.
LA United's got the Brisbane Roar in Brisbane. Fowler's not there, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there in Brisbane. As I said, they were ripping it up before COVID. So, do you see us winning there, mate?
Well, I was going to say, how do you see Adelaide going?
Mate, what are we? We're sitting 7th, just outside on goal difference to Western United.
Is Berisha playing this year?
Yeah, Bezzy there. But guess who's left Western United? Panayotis Kone, back to Greece, mate, this week. It's going back to Greece.
Ah.
Kona Meister, gone.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. I haven't read the full report.
No
I saw
more
it pop
Marquee.
up. No Marquee. He is gone. The Marquee is shut up shop.
Wow.
So that'll be a big blow for them because he was pulling some nice strings there. But as I said, LA United, it's hard, man. Like I said, Western United sitting in there. Goal difference is pretty shocking. We've only won and lost. We haven't drawn. So we need to continue to win, and I think the Brisbane game is going to be a big one for us. If we win that, I'd say we make finals, Valandi. If we beat Brisbane this week, we will make finals. Big game Thursday night, the Melbourne Derby, Victory v Western United. Perth, Central Coast, as I said, Brisbane, Adelaide. And then Monday, Western United, Melbourne City, Sydney FC, Newcastle, Western Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Wellington, Central Coast, Newcastle, Sydney, Western United. Mate, Sydney play 3 games before we play a second one. And then we play Wellington next Sunday in Sydney. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes there. And then we're back here. Then we're back in Sydney against Perth as a home game. So we're playing at Bankwest, so that's our home ground, mate. So, I don't know, mate. We'll see how we go. But I think if we beat Brisbane, we can take it to the finals and go from there. Just a quick stat about Arsenal, man. This is how terrible they are this year. They have dropped 21 points from winning positions in the Premier League this season. So it's not good, is it? It's not good reading for them. But look, hopefully they can come out of it. UFC, I'll come back to some other sport. But,
wait, can we, just before you go to other sports, this literally came live 51 minutes ago on the 51. Advertiser. Yeah, on the Advertiser. A top Western Suburbs soccer club has received nearly $5 million in grants to create this unusable eyesore. Now the sports minister is demanding to know where the money's gone.
It's just the West Adelaide one, mate.
Spot on, mate. That is shocking.
What's going to happen, man? That's going to be a shambles.
That is an absolute shock. It's, wow.
That's going to be a big news story coming through, isn't it?
Well, I've been waiting for the day that someone speaks out about it, but I'm just trying to open the article because it is the Advertiser, and, you know...
Sometimes you can't click into it, can you?
Let's have a look.
That's going to be a massive story, mate.
There we go. Here we go. Got it.
That's going to be a massive story.
Sports Minister demands investigation into unfinished $4.8 million upgrade to West Adelaide Hellas club rooms. And they're looking at an independent financial audit now because they are absolutely sick of it.
So what do you think? What's the fallout going to be from this, mate? What's going to happen? Do you reckon they can finish it, or probably not, mate? There's no money, mate. It's gone. Coronavirus today.
I don't know. I'm going to have to read it, and maybe we can try and get some exclusives on our program for next week.
Done, mate. See if you can sort some Scheisenhausen out. But talking about local football now, the local football is back, Valandi, and a couple of big results. Crawdon Kings 2-1, Raiders 2-0 against Adelaide Olympic, losing there 2-0. Comets and Blue Eagles 0-0 on Saturday. Metro Stars Perry Hills 0-0. Lots of 0-0s happening. And Campbelltown 4-2 against Cumberland United. So just quickly go to the ladder while we have it here. Metro Stars on top, 6 games in. Adelaide Olympic, Comets, Raiders and Jets on 10 points. So pretty close, man. 1 point, still early on in the season. That's happening there in the NPL. But it's good to have, isn't it? It's good to have local football back, something for people to look forward to. Let's go to the State League 1. Anything happening there? Let's have a look. Round 15, mate. How are we on round 15 already? What the hell's going on there? Round 17, here we go. What do we got, mate? Adelaide Victory losing 2-1 to Western Strikers. South Adelaide beating White City 2-1. Play for 3-1. West Adelaide 1. Sturt Lions 3, mate. Losing there again. Fulham 3-0 against Adelaide Hills, and Vipers beating Seaford 4-2. The ladder there for the State League 1, and we'll get to our Cypriot friends in a moment. West Adelaide still top, Valandi, of State League 1, even though that was their first loss of the season. So Corona may have played a role in that, but 15 points, 14 points South Adelaide, Sturt, Lions and Fulham 11 apiece. At the moment, Adelaide Victory sitting second to bottom, so our friends there not doing too well this year. State League 2, let's have a look at our Cypriot friends, mate, because they are lovely people. Let me just have a look at how the Cobras went on the weekend. They ended up, let's have a look here, mate. They drew with Pontian Eagles, big derby. Pontian won, Cobras won. Eastern United 4-2 against Salisbury. Gawler 2-1 against Adelaide Uni. and the Cove 1-1 Modbury Vista. So
Beautiful.
big Greek derby there, mate. 1-1. Lots of Chef d'Iliès and Lukanica happening at that place.
Our listener Sam Pifeas is saying, breaking news, Ole has just confirmed that Bruno Fernandes will take both penalties against Southampton tonight.
Yes, he will, mate. Definitely take both penalties. I know, man. We should have had a freaking penalty on Saturday, mate. But what do you do? Cobras sitting, where are they? 6 at the moment, 5 points behind, and Pontian Eagles in their first season in the State League 2 sitting 9th at the moment. As we said, that'll be a building stage there. Let's get to a couple of mouths of the week. Actually, before we get to mouths of the week, how's this bloke? Some gambler bloke in the UK bet £55,000 inheritance he got from his mum. $50,000 inheritance.
$50,000
on Liverpool winning the Premier League. A Man United supporter. So Tony Ward, mate, 55, collected 91,000. So it was in when was it? When did he put on? It was in March. He put on a bet. It was only 4 to 6 were the odds back in October for Liverpool to win the title.
Wow.
So he collected $36,000 net in there. But yeah, putting his inheritance on the line. Maybe he's a big mail of the week for putting his inheritance on the line. But yeah, that was a true story there. How about the UFC, mate? I don't know if you saw that the Aussie Alexander Volkanovski won again, mate, for our UFC friends there. He defended his featherweight title via split decision. You watch UFC, mate? I know you love...
I did used to watch it, but I haven't really watched it for a couple of years now.
But the big one was Peter Yan. He became the new bantamweight champion of the world after stunning display against Jose Aldo. It was in his first of the 3 fights, Aldo, off the back of 2 losses, mate. Mate, Yan, he loved it. He's now 7-0 in the UFC at the moment, so no losses for the bantamweight champ. Now, here we go. There is 2 mouths of the week. One, Noah Lyles, I don't know if you saw this, thought he destroyed Usain Bolt's 200-metre record before discovering he only ran 185 metres in the wrong lane. Now, this is just about as those drivers in Adelaide, mate. But how can you run 185 metres in the wrong lane there? What the hell is going on, mate? Apparently, it was like a virtual race, so with someone else in another country. But yeah, apparently he clocked a time of 18.9 seconds at the Inspirational Games, significantly quicker than Bolt's 19.19 he said in 2009. The only difference is that he ran only 185 metres instead of 200. So they asked if we put the starting blocks in the wrong place, mate. But how stupid was that? Big mouths of the week. I don't know if it's Noah or the people that actually set up the track. One of them were mouths. Definitely have to be mouths. And then the other mow has to go to your mate, Riley O'Brien, for saying about Nick Natanui on his phone that he's lazy. He ended up getting destroyed in the clearances on the weekend.
Didn't Natanui give him a...
And he gave him a mobile phone because just in case his phone wasn't working properly, mate, he gave him a mobile phone. That's on Nick Nat. What a classic. So, yeah, Riley O'Brien, that is another mail of the week there, mate. So,
well, you know what? At least it wasn't some racist jibe that everyone's, getting accused of these days.
No, well, true, mate, true. But yeah, folks, we'll leave it there because we're already at 10:01 p.m. I did have a few other things, but we'll discuss in more detail next week. LeBron v. Jordan. LeBron, to me, still is the number one, mate. And if he wins Valanda, you know what? I'll tell you what. If he wins the ring this year, I think he slips over him, man. Has to. If he wins the ring at the Lakers this year...
Each to their own.
He wins it, mate.
Each to their own.
All right.
All right, Johnny.
Yes, that's Bethia.
Thank you very much. Bethia, we're going to call that a night. Thank you very much once again.
It's already called a night, mate.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You should be big mouth of the bloody week, you know. Thank you very much, guys. That's it. That's it for another week. Make sure you tune in with us Saturday for the Toilet Trash Project. Sunday for Greeks and Beats. A massive thank you to our sponsor, Just Dance Fitness with Martha.
Yep.
And like always, you can get involved with her Dance Fit classes 4 times a week. at simply by visiting justdancefitness.com.au. Find out all the times, all that, whatever, enjoy, dance, get fit, sweat, do whatever you want. It's a great class. Bevya, Nastekala, thank you very much. Really love having you on our show every week. Yana Terzi, live on the radio next week with us. And we're going to have so much fun. Nastekala, kaliniktasas.